Hey friends, welcome to this course, Project Voice Assistant. Now, in this course, we learn together how we can create our own voice assistant in Python. And this course is created for beginners of Python as well as for expert users. So don't worry if your Python skills aren't too deep, you still will be able to go through this project together with me because I'll try to explain everything in detail in here. So on my screen, you can see that I already opened Jupyter Notebook, which comes as installation when you install Python via Anaconda. So if you have not installed Python yet, that I would recommend you use Anaconda and download this. And then of course feel free to use Jupyter as I do here, or of course any other kind of editor of your choice if you want to do that. So Visual Studio Code, for instance, is pretty good, but there are also other editors out there. It's up to you. I personally prefer Jupyter, but as I said, it's totally up to you. Now, in order to get started, we first want to, in my case at least, rename my project. Currently it's untitled here, so I can click inside and I can name this. For instance, I could say Voice Assistant Python project. Okay, like that. So I can click on rename and you see that now I have renamed it here. So next, let me maybe zoom in a little bit. So hopefully this is big enough on your screens. And now let's import the modules we're gonna use. So at first we need to have PyTTSX3, which is a module which allows Python to speak to us. So of course, this is something we need because we need our voice assistant or chatbot, whatever you want to call it, of course, to tell us something. So that's why I will import PyTTSX3, okay? So import is just a statement, you can see it here in green, and we import this module, this library. So if you don't have the library yet, what you can do, if you have Jupyter, then you could run the following command, exclamation mark, and then pip install, and then PyTTSX3, okay? This would be a command you can directly run in Jupyter to install a specific module. If you don't do it in Jupyter, you can also try to install it via Conda or using pip. So you open pip or go in the specific folder with pip and then you run pip install PyTTSX3 or other modules. Just remove the exclamation mark. This is only required if you try to install it within Jupyter Notebook itself. So let me just comment that out because we don't need this. So I use a hash symbol, so comment it out. And I will import the other libraries. So we will use speech recognition. So import speech recognition, need to spell it correctly, of course, SR. SR will just, let me make it even bigger. Maybe hopefully this is big enough on your screens. So we'll use this one here simply because this is an abbreviation, right? So we don't need to write speech recognition the whole time. We can simply use the abbreviation here. And then I will also import a web browser. This is a neat little library which allows us to open any kind of browser. So normally it would be our default browser. So in my case, it's Google Chrome. So that's why Google Chrome would open if I use a web browser. So that's that. And then I want to import datetime. Simply because this module allows us to get the current date as well as the current time. And I want my voice assistant just to tell this to me if I ask him or her. And then I will also import PyWhatKit, it's called. This is an interesting module because this allows, for instance, to search and open YouTube. So next to, of course, using web browser and refer to the YouTube homepage, we could also use PyWhatKit, which as an example, allows you to open YouTube, but also other kinds of neat things you can do with it. I can import OS, so operating system, as a module. This could be used, for instance, if you want to tell your voice assistant to shut down your computer or to restart your computer. You can do this using the OS module. That would be an option if you want to implement this, just as an example. And then I will also import Yahoo Finance. So Y Finance as Y F, which allows us, for instance, to ask for stock price. So it's current stock prices for specific stocks we have in our portfolio, for instance. So we can use this library for that. And YF, again, is just an abbreviation we use here. And then I will also import PyJokes. PyJokes is also an interesting library which allows you to, well, ask, in this case, the voice assistant for a joke, and then the voice assistant will tell us a joke, which is available from PyJokes, right? Of course, if you have your own or want to create your own jokes and put this in a module, then you can use this as well, right? This is just predefined for us, so we can use it directly in here. And these are the libraries I'm gonna import for now. Maybe later a few additional ones, but for now I will use those. And as I said, if you don't have one of them, simply run the command in Jupyter Notebook would be exclamation mark and then pip install, and then the specific library we have here. Or, of course, if you use Conda, then don't use pip at all. So just Conda install and the things. Or if you use pip, but not in Jupyter Notebook, then don't use the exclamation mark when you install it, okay? So if you have imported and installed all those libraries, then you could run this cell, and then we should not get any errors here. And you see that it has been run successfully. So you can see the first line, the one here, the number, and now we have all libraries we need imported. Okay, so that's it for the first video, and in the next video we will start creating our voice assistant. Can't wait to see you there.